The next chapter is planning and sustainable development in Indian context. The word planning is not new to you as it is a part of everyday usage. You must have used it with reference to preparation for your examination or visit a hill station. It involves the process of thinking, formulation of a scheme or program, and implementation of a set of actions to achieve same goal. Though it is a very broad term, in this chapter it has been used with reference to the process of economic development. It is thus different from the traditional hit and miss methods by which reforms and reconstruction are often undertaken. Generally, there are two approaches of planning: sectoral planning and regional planning. Sectoral planning means formulation and implementation of the sets of schemes or programs aimed at development of various sectors of the economy, such as agriculture, irrigation, manufacturing, power, construction, transport, communication, and social infrastructure and services. There is no uniform economic development over space in any country. Some areas are more developed and some lag behind. This uneven pattern of development over space necessitates that the planners have a special perspective and draw the plans to reduce regional imbalance in development. This type of planning is termed as regional planning. So regional planning is to carve out the unevenness, and sectoral planning is a forward planning, है ना. Now, on 1st January 2015, the Niti Aayog was formed. India adopted centralized planning after independence, but subsequently it graduated into decentralized multi-level planning. The responsibility of plan formulation was with the Planning Commission at the center, state and district levels, but on 1st January 2015, the Planning Commission was replaced by the Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog has been set up with the objective of involving the states in economic policy making for India, for providing strategic and technical advice to the central and state governments. Target area planning. The planning process has to take special care of those areas which have remained economically backward. As you know, the economic development of a region depends upon its resource base, but sometimes resource-rich regions also remain backward. Economic development requires technology as well as investment besides resources. With the planning experience of about 1.5 decades, it was realized that regional imbalances in economic development were getting accentuated. In order to arrest the accentuation of regional and social disparities, the Planning Commission introduced the target area and target group approaches to planning. Some of the examples of programs directed towards the development of target areas are Command Area Development Program, Drought Prone Area Development Program, Desert Development Program, Hill Area Development Program, the Small Farmers Development Agency, and Marginal Farmers Development Agency, which are the examples of target group program. In the 8th 5-year plan, special area program are designed to develop infrastructure in hill areas, northeastern states, tribal areas, and backward areas. तो देखो 8th 5-year प्लान में क्या है, स्पेशल एरिया प्रोग्राम्स आर डिजाइंड इन 8th 5-year प्लान. इसको याद रखना, इकोनॉमिक्स के भी लिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है. हमने जो चूज़ किया ना 2 सब्जेक्ट सोशल साइंस के अंडर जियोग्राफी प्लस इकोनॉमिक्स, तो वहाँ पर आ सकता है कि 8th 5-year प्लान में स्पेशल एरिया प्रोग्राम्स जो है वो लिया गया था. हिल एरिया डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम. हिल एरिया डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स आर इनिशिएटेड ड्यूरिंग द 5th 5-year प्लान कवरिंग 15 डिस्ट्रिक्ट. अब देखो हिल एरिया जो है स्पेसिफिकली हिल एरिया डेवलपमेंट प्लान, इसको कब लिया गया था, 5th 5-year प्लान में इसको इनिशिएट किया गया था. 5th 5-year प्लान में इसको इनिशिएट किया गया था. एंड कवरिंग 15 डिस्ट्रिक्ट कंप्राइजिंग ऑल द हिली डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश, मिकिर हिल एंड नॉर्थ कच्छर हिल्स ऑफ असम, दार्जिलिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल एंड नीलगिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ तमिलनाडु. तो जितने भी हिल डिस्ट्रिक्ट थे जैसे कि 15 थे तो वो उसको कवर किया गया था हिल एरिया डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स के अंदर, जो कि 5th 5-year प्लान में लिया गया था. द नेशनल कमिटी ऑन डेवलपमेंट ऑफ बैकवर्ड एरिया इन 1981 रिकमेंड दैट ऑल द हिल एरियाज इन दिस कंट्री हैविंग हाइट अबव 600 मीटर एंड नॉट कवर्ड अंडर ट्राइबल सब प्लान be treated as backward hill areas. The detailed plans for the development of hill areas were drawn keeping in view their topographical, ecological, social and economic conditions. These programs aimed at harnessing the indigenous resources of the hill areas through development of horticulture. plantation, agriculture, animal husbandry, poultry, forestry, and small scale and village industry. Drought prone area program. This program was initiated during the fourth five-year plan with the objectives of providing employment to the people in drought prone areas and creating productive assets. Initially, this program laid emphasis on the construction of labor intensive civil works, but later on it emphasized on irrigation projects, land development programs, afforestation, grassland development, and creation of basic rural infrastructure such as electricity, roads, market, credit, and services. The National Committee on Development of Backward Areas reviewed the performance of this program. It has been observed that this program is largely confined to the development of agriculture and allied sectors with major focus on restoration of ecological balance. Since growing population pressure is forcing the society to utilize the marginal lands for agriculture and thereby causing ecological degradation, there is a need to create alternative employment opportunities in the drought-prone areas. The other strategies of development of these areas include adoption of integrated watershed development approach at the micro level. The restoration of ecological balance between water, soil, plants, and human and animal populations should be a basic consideration in the strategy of development of drought-prone areas. The Planning Commission of India 1967 identified 67 districts entirely or partly of the country prone to drought. The Irrigation Commission 1972 introduced the criterion of 30% irrigated area and demarcated the drought-prone areas. Broadly, the drought-prone area in India spread over semi-arid and arid tracts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Western Madhya Pradesh, Marathwada region of Maharashtra, Rayalaseema and Telangana plateaus of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka plateau and highlands and interior parts of Tamil Nadu. The drought-prone areas of Punjab, Haryana and North Rajasthan are largely protected due to spread of irrigation in these regions. Case study: Integrated Tribal Development Project in Bharmar region. So Bharmar tribal area comprises Bharmar and Holi Tehsil of Chamba district of Himachal Pradesh. It is a notified tribal area since 21st November 1975. Bharmar is inhabited by Gadi, a tribal community who have maintained a distinct identity in the Himalayan region as they practice transhumance and converged through Gadiali dialect. तो गादी जो है हिमाचल प्रदेश में रहता है और इन्हीं लोगों का डिस्ट्रिक्ट है भरमार डिस्ट्रिक्ट, जहाँ पर ये लॉन्च किया गया था प्रोग्राम इंटीग्रेटेड ट्राइबल डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट, ठीक है, और इसका डायरेक्ट है गदियाली. सो भारमार ट्राइबल रीजन हैज हार्श क्लाइमेट कंडीशंस, लो रिसोर्स बेस एंड फ्रेजाइल एनवायरनमेंट. These factors have influenced the society and economy of the region. According to the 2011 census, the total population of Bharmar subdivision was 39,113, that is 21 persons per square km. It is one of the most economically and socially backward areas of Himachal Pradesh. Historically, the Gadis have experienced geographical and political isolation and socio-economic deprivation. The economy is largely based on agriculture and allied activities such as sheep and goat rearing. The process of development of tribal area of Bharmar started in 1970s when Gadis were included among scheduled tribes. Under देखो भारमार के आगे एक स्टार मार्क्स दिया था, एस्टरिक्स दिया था. इसका मीनिंग क्या समझा रहा है यहाँ पर? द नेम भारमार इज derived from संस्कृत वर्ड सेमितो बाय भारमार. इन दिस बुक भारमार हैज बीन यूज टू रिटेन द colloquial फ्लेवर और कुछ भी. चलो देन अंडर क्या बोल रहे हैं, under the fifth five-year plan, the tribal sub-plan was introduced in 1974 and Bharmar was designed as one of the 5 integrated tribal development projects in Himachal Pradesh. The area development plan was aimed at improving the quality of life of the Gadis. चाहिए टेबल एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं. दिस रीजन लाइज बिटवीन 32 डिग्री 11 मिनट नॉर्थ एंड 32 डिग्री 41 मिनट नॉर्थ लैटिट्यूड्स एंड 76 डिग्री एंड 22 मिनट ईस्ट एंड 76 डिग्री प्रॉपर्ली स्प्रेड ओवर एन एरिया ऑफ अबाउट 1818 स्क्वायर किमी. द रीजन मोस्टली लाइज बिटवीन 1500 मीटर एंड 3700 मीटर above the mean sea level. This region, popularly known as the homeland of Gadi, surrounded by lofty mountains on all sides. It has Pirpanjal in the north and Dhauladhar in the south. Okay, Pirpanjal in the north and Dhauladhar in the south. In the east, the extension of Dhauladhar converges with Pirpanjal near Rohtang Pass. In the east, the extension of Dhauladhar converges with Pirpanjal near Rohtang Pass. तो आपको ये सारी भी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिला है. देखो कि धौलाधर ईस्ट में जाकर कहाँ मिल जाता है, रोहतांग पास के नियर मिल जाता है. किसके साथ मिलता है? पिरपंचाल के साथ मिलता है. तो पढ़ना अच्छा है. द रिवर राबी एंड इट्स ट्रिब्यूटरीज द बुधिल एंड द तुंदा हेन ड्रेन दिस टेरिटोरी। तो इसमें कौन सी रिवर बहता है, तो एक तो रबी बहता है और उसका जो ट्रिब्यूटरी हो देखो बुधिल एंड तुंदा हेन, तो इस भरमा रीजन में जाता है। एंड कार्व आउट डीप गॉर्जेस, दिस रिवर्स डिवाइड द रीजन इनटू 4 फिजियोग्राफिक डिविजन्स कॉल्ड होली, खानी, कुक्ति एंड Tunda areas. Bharmar experiences freezing weather conditions and snowfall in winter. Its mean monthly temperature in January remains 4 degrees Celsius and in July 26 डिग्री सेल्सियस। ठीक है, ओके। नेक्स्ट हम देखेंगे कि भार्मर ट्राइबल रीजन की यहाँ पर देखो पूरा मैप दिखाया जा रहा है। ओके, तो हमने इतना तक पढ़ा कि लाइफ ऑफ द गादीज and narrowing the gap in the level of development between Bharmar and other areas of Himachal Pradesh. This plan laid the highest priority on development of transport and communications, agriculture and allied activities and social and community services. The most significant contribution of tribal subplan in Bharmar region is the development of infrastructure in terms of schools, healthcare facilities, potable water, roads, communications and electricity. But the villages located along the river Ravi in Hali and Khani areas are the main beneficiaries of infrastructural development. The remote villages in Tunda and Kukti areas still do not have sufficient infrastructure. The social benefits derived from ITDP include tremendous increase in literacy rate, improvement in sex ratio and decline in child marriage. The female literacy rate in the region increased from 1.88% in 1971 to 65% in 2011. The difference between males and females in literacy level, that is gender inequality, has also declined. Traditionally, the Gadis had subsistence agricultural pastoral economy having emphasis on food grains and livestock production. But during the last 3 decades of 20th century, the cultivation of pulses and other cash crops has increased in Bharma region. But the crop cultivation is still done with traditional technology. The declining importance of pastoralism in the economy of the region can be gauged from the fact that at present only about 1/10 of the total households practice transhumance. But the Gadis are still very mobile, as a sizable section of them migrate to Kangra and surrounding areas during winter to earn their livings from wage labor. Sustainable development, इसके बारे में आपको पता ही है। द टर्म सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इज जनरली यूज्ड टू डिस्क्राइब द स्टेट ऑफ पर्टिकुलर सोसाइटीज एंड द प्रोसेस ऑफ चेंजेस एक्सपीरियंस्ड बाय देम ड्यूरिंग ए फेयरली लार्ज पीरियड ऑफ ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री। द स्टेट ऑफ द सोसाइटीज हैज लार्जली बीन डिटरमाइंड बाय द इंटरेक्शन प्रोसेसेस बिटवीन ह्यूमन सोसाइटीज एंड देयर बायोफिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट। द प्रोसेस ऑफ ह्यूमन एनवायरनमेंट इंटरेक्शन डिपेंड अपॉन द लेवल ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी एंड इंस्टीट्यूशंस nurtured by society. While the technology and institutions have helped in increasing the pace of human environment interaction, the momentum thus generated in return has accelerated technological progress and transformation and creation of institutions. Hence, the development is a multidimensional concept and signifies the positive, irreversible transformation of the economy, society, and environment. The concept of development is dynamic and has evolved during the second half of the 20th century. In the post-World War II era, the concept of development was synonymous to economic growth, which is measured in terms of temporal increase in gross national product (GNP) and per capita income or per capita consumption. But even the countries having high economic growth experienced steady rise in poverty because of its unequal distribution. So, in 1970s, the phrase such as redistribution with growth and equity were incorporated in the definition of development. While dealing with the questions related to redistribution and equity, it was realized that the concept of development cannot be restricted to the economic sphere alone. It also includes the issues such as improving the well-being and living standard of people, availing of the health, education and quality of opportunity, and ensuring political and civil rights. By 1980s, development emerged as a concept encapsulating widespread improvement in social as well as material well-being of all in a society. The notion of sustainable development emerged in the wake of general rise in the awareness of environmental issues in the late 1960s and Western world. It reflected the concern of people about undesirable effects of industrial development on the environment. The publication of the population bomb by Ehrlich in 1968 and the limits to growth by Meadows and others in 1972 further raised the level of fearing among environmentalists in particular and people in general. This sets the scenario for the emergence of new models of development under a broad phrase sustainable development. ठीक है, तो द पॉपुलेशन बम्ब किसने लिखा था? Ehrlich ने in 1968 ने, एंड द लिमिट्स टू ग्रोथ रिटन बाय मिडोज इन 1972. ये भी याद रखना जरूरी है. द लिमिट्स टू ग्रोथ मिडोज 1972 एंड द पॉपुलेशन बम्ब Ehrlich EHRLICH 1968. ओके, यूजीसी नेट में तो आपको अरेंज करने के लिए बोल देगा कि कौन सी बुक पहले लिखा गया था वो अरेंज करो डिसेंडिंग या असेंडिंग ऑर्डर में. तो आपको पॉपुलेशन बम्ब पहले हुआ, डेफिनेटली 4 बुक का नेम रहेगा, इसके साथ और भी 2 रहेगा. ओके, या फिर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट भी दिया जा सकता है कि, तो ये तो थर्ड में हो गया है ना, पहला पॉपुलेशन बॉम्ब, देन लिमिट्स टू ग्रो, देन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट, और कुछ एक रहेगा. नाउ कंसर्न टू द ग्रोइंग ओपिनियन ऑफ द world community on the environment issues, the United Nations established a World Commission on Environment and Development (WCED) headed by the Norwegian Prime Minister Gro Harlem Brundtland. The commission gave its report, also known as Brundtland Report, entitled Our Common Future in 1987. The report defines sustainable development as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development takes care of ecological, social, and economic aspects of development during the present times and pleads किसका मैप है ये, इंदिरा गांधी कैनाल का. अच्छा देखो ये सारी चीज़ें आपको यूपीएससी लेवल में याद है, मतलब काम में आ सकते हैं, तो हम देखेंगे बाद में यूपीएससी सिलेबस जब कवर करेंगे. ठीक है, अभी इसको रहने देते हैं. चलिए हम नेक्स्ट जाते हैं. सो फॉर कंजर्वेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज टू एनेबल द फ्यूचर जनरेशंस टू यूज दीज रिसोर्सेज. सस्टेनेबल का डेवलपमेंट का डेफिनेशन चल रहा है. इट टेक्स इन अकाउंट द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ऑल ह्यूमन काइंड व्हिच हैव कॉमन फ्यूचर. अब देखो केस स्टडी यहाँ पर बनाया गया है इंदिरा गांधी कैनल के ऊपर, इसलिए उसका मैप पहले दिया गया है. ठीक, तो हम केस स्टडी को पढ़ते हैं. चलिए, इंदिरा गांधी कैनल, नाहर कमांड एरिया. इंदिरा गांधी कैनल प्रीवियसली नोन एज द राजस्थान कैनल. तो पहला नाम क्या था, राजस्थान कैनल था, बाद में इंदिरा गांधी कैनल किया गया. अच्छा, is one of the largest canal system in India, conceived by Kanwar Sen in 1948, and the canal project was launched on 31st March 1958. The canal originates at Harike Barrage in Punjab and runs parallel to Pakistan border at an average distance of 40 km in Thar district, Marustali of Rajasthan. The total planned length of the system is 9060 km, catering to the irrigation needs of a total cultivable command area of 19.63 lakhs hectares. Out of the total command area, about 70% was envisaged to be irrigated by flow system and the rest by lift system. The construction work of the canal system has been carried out through two stages. The command area of stage 1 lies in Ganganagar, Hanumangarh and northern part of Bikaner districts. It has a gently undulating topography and its cultivable command area is 5.53 lakh hectares. The command area of stage 2 is spread over Bikaner, Jaisalmer, Barma, Jodhpur, Nagar and Churu districts, covering cultivable command area of 14.10 lakh hectare. It comprises desert land dotted with shifting sand dunes and temperatures soaring at 250 degrees Celsius in summers. In the lift canal, the water is lifted up to make it to flow against the slope of the land. All the lift canals of Indira Gandhi canal system originate at the left bank of main canal, while all the canals on the right bank of main canal are flow channels. Irrigation in stage 1 command area of canal was introduced in early 1960s, whereas the command area of stage 2 began receiving irrigation in mid 1980s. So irrigation in stage 1 command area of the canal was introduced in early 1960s, whereas the command area of stage 2 began receiving irrigation in mid 1980s. The introduction of canal irrigation in this dry land has transformed its ecology, economy and society. It has influenced the environmental conditions of the region both positively as well as negatively. The availability of soil moisture for a longer period of time and various afforestation and pasture development programs under CRD have resulted in greening the land. This has also helped in reducing wind erosion and siltation of canal systems. But the intensive irrigation and excessive use of water has led to the emergence of twin environmental problems of waterlogging and soil salinity. Introduction of canal irrigation has brought about a perceptible transformation in the agricultural economy of the region. Soil moisture has been a limiting factor in successful growing of crops in this area. Spread of canal irrigation has led to increase in cultivated area and intensity of cropping. The traditional crops sown in the area, gram, bajra and jowar, have been replaced by wheat, cotton, groundnut and rice. This is the result of intensive irrigation. This intensive irrigation no doubt initially has led to tremendous increase in agricultural and livestock productivity. This has also caused waterlogging and soil salinity, and thus in the long run it hampers the sustainability of agriculture. Now, measures for promotion of sustainable development. The ecological sustainability of Indira Gandhi Canal project has been questioned by various scholars. Their point of view has also largely been validated by the course of development this region has taken during the last 4 decades, which has resulted in degradation of physical environment. It is a hard fact that attaining sustainable development in the command area requires major thrust upon the measures of to achieve ecological sustainability. Hence, 5 of the 7 measures proposed to promote sustainable development in the command area are meant to restore ecological balance. The first requirement is strict implementation of water management policy. The canal project envisages protective irrigation in stage 1 and extensive irrigation of crops and pasture development in stage 2. In general, the cropping pattern shall not include water intensive crops. It shall be added to, and people shall be encouraged to grow plantation crops such as citrus fruits. अब सारे citrus fruits ही खाएंगे क्या? The CAD programs such as lining of water courses, land development and leveling, and Varabundi system, equal distribution of canal water in the common area of outlet, shall be effectively implemented to reduce the conveyance loss of water. The areas affected by water logging and soil salinity shall be reclaimed. The eco development through afforestation, shelter belt plantation, and pasture development is necessary, particularly in the fragile environment of stage 2. The social sustainability in the region can be achieved only if the land allottees having poor economic background are provided adequate financial and institutional support for cultivation of land. The economic sustainability in the region cannot be attained only through development of agriculture and animal husbandry. The agricultural and allied activities have to develop along with other sectors of economy. This shall lead to diversification of economic base and establishment of functional linkages between basic villages, एग्रो सर्विस सेंटर्स एंड मार्केट सेंटर्स। तो यहाँ पर ये चैप्टर होता है ख़त्म। नेक्स्ट हमारे चैप्टर है ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन के बारे में, तो चलिए इसको भी पढ़ते हैं। वी यूज मैनी आइटम्स इन आवर डेली लाइफ फ्रॉम टूथपेस्ट टू आवर बेड टी मिल्क clothes, soaps, food items, etc. required every day. All these can be purchased from the market. Have you ever thought as to how these items are brought from the site of production? All the production is meant for consumption. From the fields and factory, the produce is brought to the place from where consumers purchase it. It is the transportation of these items from the site of their production to the market which make them available to the consumer. We not only use material things like fruits, vegetables, books, clothes, etc., but also use ideas, views, and messages in our daily life. Do you know we exchange our views, ideas, and messages from one place to another or one individual to another while communicating with the help of various means. The use of transport and communication depends upon our need to move things from place of their availability to the place of their use. Human beings use various methods to move goods, commodities, ideas from one place to another. The following diagram shows the major means of transportation. Means of transport: land, water, air, road, pipeline, railway, national, international, inland, seaway, and ocean route. Land transport. The pathways and unmetalled roads have been used for transportation in India since ancient times. With economic and technological development, metal roads and railways were developed to move large volume of goods and people from one place to another. Ropeways, cableways, and pipelines are devised to cater to the demands of transporting specific goods under special circumstances. Now, road transport. India has one of the second largest road network in the world with a length of about 62.16 lakh km. The Prince list इधर नहीं है. Then about 85% of the passenger and 70% of freight traffic are carried by roads every year. Road transport is relatively suitable for shorter distance travel. अब देखो, road transport in modern sense was very limited in India before World War II. The first serious attempt was made in 1943 when Nagpur plan was drawn. The plan could not be implemented due to lack of coordination among the princely states and British India. After independence, 20-year road plan 1961 was introduced to improve the conditions of roads in India. However, roads continue to concentrate in and around urban centers. Rural and remote areas had had the least connectivity by road for the purpose of construction and maintenance. Roads are classified as national highways, state highways, major district highways, and rural roads. National highways, the main roads which are constructed and maintained by the central government, are known as the national highways. These roads are meant for interstate transport and movement of defense men and material in strategic areas. These also connect the state capitals, major cities, transport ports, Important ports, railway junctions, etc. The length of the national highway has increased from 19,700 km in 1951 to 1,36,440 km in 2020. The national highways constitute only about 2% of the total road length but carry 40% of the road traffic. The National Highway Authority of India was operationalized in 1995. It is an autonomous body under the Ministry of Surface Transport. It is entrusted with the responsibility of development, maintenance and operation of national highways. This is also the apex body to improve the quality of the roads designated as national highways. Then India Road Network 2020, there is national highways, state highways and other roads. ये देखो लेते हैं जो ये सारी इंपॉर्टेंट है नहीं कुछ, ठीक है. नेशनल हाईवेज डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स, NHAI has taken up some major projects in the country under different phases. That is Golden Quadrilateral. It comprises construction of 5,486 km long 4x6 lane हाई डेंसिटी ट्रैफिक कॉरिडोर टू कनेक्ट इंडिया 4 बिग मेट्रो सिटीज़. तो कौन कौन सी सिटी को कनेक्ट करते हैं याद रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. वो है दिल्ली, मुंबई, चेन्नई, कोलकाता. विद द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ गोल्डन क्वाड्रिलेटरल द टाइम, डिस्टेंस एंड कॉस्ट ऑफ मूवमेंट अमंग द मेगा सिटीज ऑफ इंडिया विल बी कंसिडरेबली मिनिमाइज्ड. North South and East West corridors. North South corridor aims at connecting Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir with Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu, including Kochi, Salem, Spur. With 4076 km long road. The East-West corridor has been planned to connect Silchar in Assam with the port town of Porbandar in Gujarat with 3640 km of road length. State highways. These are constructed and maintained by state governments. They join the state capitals with district headquarters and other important towns. These roads are connected to the national highways. These constitute 4% of total road length in the country. District roads. So these roads are the connecting link between district headquarters and the other important nodes in the district. They account for 14% of the total road length of the country. Now rural roads. So these roads are vital for providing links in the rural areas. About 80% of the total road length in India are categorized as rural roads. There is regional variation in the density of rural road because these are influenced by the nature of the terrain. Other roads include border roads and international highways. The Border Road Organization (BR) was established in May 1960 for accelerating economic development and strengthening defense preparedness through rapid and coordinated improvement of strategically important roads along the northern and northeastern boundary of the country. It is a premier multifaceted construction agency. It has constructed roads in high altitude mountain terrain joining Chandigarh with Manali. This road runs at an average altitude of 4,270 meters above the mean sea level. Apart from the construction and maintenance of roads in strategically sensitive areas, the BR also undertakes no clearance in high altitude areas. The international highways are meant to promote the harmonious relationships with the neighboring countries by providing effective links with India. और यहाँ पर एक बार यूजीसी नेट ने ये भी पूछ लिया था स्टेटमेंट के फॉर्म में कि BRO जो है वो क्या स्कूल भी बिल्ड करते हैं, हॉस्पिटल भी बिल्ड करते हैं नियर बाई दी बॉर्डर रीजन्स. वो स्टेटमेंट भी करेक्ट है. पता नहीं यहाँ पर क्यों मेंशन नहीं किया गया है. तो आपको मदद कर सकता है NCERT हर किसी भी एग्ज़ाम में. अच्छे से पढ़ एटलीस्ट एक बार पढ़ लेना, ठीक है. नाउ डू यू नो द वर्ल्ड्स लॉन्गेस्ट हाईवे दैट इज अटल टनल हैज बीन बिल्ट बाय बॉर्डर रोड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. दिस टनल connects Manali to Lahul Spiti Valley throughout the year. Earlier the valley was cut off for about 6 months each year owing to heavy snowfall. The tunnel is built with ultra modern specifications in the Pirpanchal range of Himalayas at an altitude of 3000 meters from the mean sea level. देखो BRO के साइड चलिया गया है. Lahore to Delhi, Aman Setu between Srinagar and Muzaffarabad. Delhi Lahore pass है ना वो बाघा बॉर्डर. नाउ डू यू नो again Brahmatal ki Bharatmala is a proposed umbrella scheme for development of state roads along coastal border areas, including connectivity of non-major ports, backward areas, religious and tourist places connectivity program. Then Setu Bharatam Pariyojana, which is for the construction of about 1500 major bridges and 200 rail under bridges. District headquarters connectivity scheme for development of about 9,000 new kilometer newly declared national highways. The program is targeted for completion by 2022. तो क्या कंप्लीट हो गया है? भारतमाला प्रोजेक्ट देखना पड़ेगा इसका करंट स्टेटस क्या है. अब देखो इंडियन रेलवे जोन्स एंड हेडक्वार्टर्स. तो इसको हम देखते हैं सेंट्रल रेलवे जोन. तो बहुत से देखो आई थिंक 16 रेलवे जोन्स है हमारा, है ना. कितना है 16 है ना, 1 2 3 4 5 6, अरे यार 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16। तो इसका हेडक्वार्टर्स आप याद रख सकते हो, जैसे कि सेंट्रल का है मुंबई, ईस्टर्न का कोलकाता, ईस्ट सेंट्रल का हाजीपुर, ईस्ट कोस्ट का भुवनेश्वर, नॉर्दर्न का न्यू दिल्ली, नॉर्थ सेंट्रल का इलाहाबाद, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न का गोरखपुर, नॉर्थ ईस्ट फ्रंटियर का मालीगांव गुवाहाटी, नॉर्थ वेस्टर्न का जयपुर, साउदर्न का चेन्नई, साउदर्न सेंट्रल का सिकंदराबाद, साउथ ईस्टर्न का कोलकाता, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न साउथ ईस्टर्न दोनों ही कोलकाता ही है, सॉरी ईस्टर्न एंड साउथ ईस्टर्न का है कोलकाता। साउथ ईस्ट सेंट्रल बिलासपुर, साउथ वेस्टर्न हो गया हुबली एंड वेस्टर्न हो गया मुंबई, चर्च गेट, वेस्ट सेंट्रल आपका जबलपुर। ठीक है, और पहले तो हमने रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट पढ़ना चाहिए था। बाय द वे रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट के बारे में पढ़ते हैं। इंडियन रेलवेज नेटवर्क इज वन ऑफ द लॉन्गेस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड। इट फैसिलिटेट्स द मूवमेंट ऑफ बोथ फ्रेट एंड पैसेंजर्स एंड कंट्रीब्यूट्स टू द ग्रोथ ऑफ द इकोनॉमी। महात्मा गांधी सेड द इंडियन रेलवेज ब्रॉट पीपल टू डाइवर्स कल्चर्स टुगेदर टू कंट्रीब्यूट टू इंडियाज फ्रीडम स्ट्रगल। Indian Railways was introduced in 1853 when a line was constructed from Bombay to Thane, covering a distance of 34 km. Indian Railways is the largest government undertaking in the country. The length of Indian Railways network was 67,956 km. Its very large size puts a lot of pressure on a centralized railway management system. Thus in India the railway system has been divided into 16 zones. Already हमने पढ़ लिया। देखो, do you know on the basis of the width of track of the Indian railways 3 categories have been made, that is broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge. तो broad gauge का लेंथ क्या है 1.676 मीटर है, मीटर गज का 1 मीटर है और नैरो गज का है 0.762 मीटर। ठीक है, 0.762 मीटर याद रखना, ब्रॉड गॉज, नैरो गॉज एंड मीटर गॉज। इंडियन रेलवेज हैज लॉन्च्ड एक्सटेंसिव प्रोग्राम टू कन्वर्ट द मीटर एंड नैरो गॉजेस टू ब्रॉड गॉज। मोरओवर स्टीम इंजिन्स हैव बीन रिप्लेस्ड बाय डीजल एंड इलेक्ट्रिक इंजिन्स। ये तो कब का बात है ना। दिस स्टेप हैज इंक्रीज्ड द स्पीड एज वेल एज द हॉलेज कैपेसिटी। द रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ स्टीम इंजिन्स रन बाय कोल हैज ऑल्सो इम्प्रूव्ड द एनवायरनमेंट ऑफ द स्टेशंस। Metro rail has revolutionized the urban transport system in India. Replacement of diesel buses by CNG run vehicles along with the introduction of metro is a welcome step towards controlling the air pollution in urban centers. Which cities of India have metro rail facility? Collect information about it and discuss in the classroom. Now Konkan Railway. So one of the important achievements of the Indian Railway has been the construction of Konkan Railway in 1998. It is 760 km long rail route connecting Roha in Maharashtra to Mangalore in Karnataka. It is considered an engineering marvel. It crosses 146 river streams, nearly 2000 bridges and 91 tunnels. That is Konkan Railway. Asia's largest tunnel, which is nearly 6.5 km long, also lies on this route. भाई हमने आप ही पढ़ा ना, अटल टनल तो 9 किलोमीटर है, फिर इसको गोवा एशिया का लार्जेस्ट, इसको क्यों बोल रहे हैं। द स्टेट्स ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, गोवा एंड कर्नाटक आर पार्टनर्स इन दिस अंडरटेकिंग। तो ये कोंकण रेलवे जो है कर्नाटक, महाराष्ट्र एंड गोवा के ऊपर से जाता है। नाउ areas around towns, raw material producing areas and plantations and other commercial crops, hill stations and cantonment towns were well connected by railways from the British colonial era. These were mostly developed for the exploitation of resources. After the independence of the country, railway routes have been extended to other areas too. The most significant development has been the development of Konkan Railway along the western coast, providing a direct link between Mumbai and Mangaluru. Railway continues to remain the main means of transport for the masses. Railway network is relatively less dense in the hill states, northern eastern states, central parts of India and Rajasthan. Water transport. Waterways is an important mode of transport for both passenger and cargo traffic in India. It is the cheapest means of transport and is most suitable for carrying heavy and bulky material. It is a fuel efficient and eco-friendly mode of transport. The water transport is of two types: inland waterways and oceanic waterways. Inland waterways, it was the cheap mode of transport before the advent of railways. It however faced tough competition from road and railway transport. Moreover, diversion of river water for irrigation purposes made them non-navigable in large parts of their courses. India has 14,500 km of navigable waterways, contributing about 1% to the country's transportation. It comprises rivers, canals, backwaters, creeks, etc. At present, 5,685 km of major rivers are navigable by mechanized flat-bottom vessels. For the development, maintenance and regulation of national waterways in the country, the Inland Waterways Authority was set up in 1986. So Inland Water Authority was established in 1986. The following waterways have been declared as national waterways by the government. Table में दिया हुआ है देखो. NW1 Allahabad Haldia stretch, NW2 Sadia Dhubri stretch, NW3 Kottapuram Kolam stretch, NW4 specified stretches of Godavari and Krishna rivers along with Kakinada Puducherry stretch of canals, NW5 specified stretches river Brahmani along with Matai river, delta channels of Mahanadi and Brahmani rivers and east coast canals 588 किमी. तो ये 5 को जो है नेशनल वाटरवे का दर्जा दिया गया. यहाँ पर क्या दिखाया गया देखो ऊपर कि नेशनल वाटरवे नंबर 3. अच्छा, तो नंबर 3 मतलब कोट्टापुरम कोल्लम का ही यहाँ पर मैप यहाँ पर दिया गया है, क्या कैसा है नहीं है. ठीक. The Inland Waterways Authority has also identified 10 other inland waterways which could be upgraded. The backwaters Kadal of Kerala has special significance in inland waterway. Apart from providing cheap means of transport, they are also attracting a large number of tourists in Kerala. The famous Nehru Trophy boat race, that is Bhallam Kali, is also held in the backwaters. तो बल्लम कली के एक बोट रेस है, कहाँ का? केरला का. याद रखना, नेहरू ट्रॉफी बोट रेस भल्लम काली नाम से जाना जाता है. Then oceanic routes. So India has a vast coastline of approximately 7,517 km, including islands, 12 major and 185 minor ports. Provides infrastructural support to these routes. तो अब 13th पोर्ट बिल्ड किया जा रहा है. कहाँ पर? हमने रिसेंटली पढ़ा था उस दिन बीपीएससी में, अब याद ही नहीं आ रहा है क्या पढ़ा था. 13th पोर्ट कहाँ डेवलप किया जा रहा है, देखना पड़ेगा. So oceanic routes play an important role in the transport sector of India's economy. Approximately 95% of India's foreign trade by volume and 70% by value moves through ocean routes. Apart from international trade, these are also used for the purpose of transportation between the islands and the rest of the country. Air transportation. Air transport is the fastest means of movement from one place to the other. It has reduced distances by minimizing the travel time. It is essential for a vast country like India, where distances are large and the terrain and climatic conditions are diverse. Air transport in India made a beginning in 1911 when air mail operation commenced over a little distance of 10 km between Allahabad and Noini. But its real development took place in post-independent period. The Airport Authority of India is responsible for providing safe, efficient air traffic and aeronautical communication services in the Indian airspace. The authority manages 125 airports. Pawan Hans is the helicopter service operating in the hilly areas and is widely used by tourists in northeastern sector. तो पवन हंस ये क्या है कि हेलीकॉप्टर सर्विस कंपनी है शायद, ठीक है, पवन हंस. देन in addition, Pawan Hans Limited mainly provides helicopter services to petroleum sector and for tourism. तो Pawan Hans Limited जो है पेट्रोलियम सेक्टर के लिए एंड टूरिज्म के लिए हेलीकॉप्टर्स बनाते हैं. Oil and gas pipelines. Pipelines are the most convenient and efficient mode of transporting liquids and gases over long distances. Even solids can also be transported by pipelines after converting them into slurry. Oil India Limited, under the administrative setup of the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, is engaged in the exploration, production and transportation of crude oil and natural gas. It was incorporated in 1959 as a company. Asia's first cross-country pipeline covering a distance of 1,157 km was constructed by oil from Naharkatia oil field in Assam to Barauni refinery in Bihar. ठीक है, तो देखो Asia's first cross-country pipeline covering distance of 1,157 km was constructed by OIL rich oil from Naharkatia oil field इन आसाम टू बारावनी रिफाइनरी में. तो हमने बिहार में जो रिफाइनरी की बात करी ना बारावनी, तो वहाँ पर कैसे ऑयल आता है, एक्चुअल में आसाम से आता है वो पाइपलाइन के थ्रू. इट वाज फर्दर एक्सटेंडेड अप टू कानपुर इन 1966. देन गेल इंडिया लिमिटेड वाज सेट अप इन 1984 एज ए पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग टू ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोसेस एंड मार्केट नेचुरल गैस फॉर इट्स इकोनॉमिक यूज. द फर्स्ट 1700 किलोमीटर लॉन्ग विजयपुर जगदीशपुर जो हमने देखा था मैप में HVG गैस पाइपलाइन Cross-country gas pipeline constructed by GAIL India linked Mumbai High and Basin gas field with various fertilizer, power and industrial complexes in eastern and northern India. This artery provides impetus to Indian gas market development. Overall, India's gas infrastructure has expanded over 10 times from 1,700 km to 18,500 km of cross-country pipelines and is expected to soon reach over 34,000 km as gas grid by linking all the gas sources and consuming markets across the country, including northeastern states. Next time, birthday communication networks. So human beings have evolved different methods of communication over time. In earlier times, the messages were derived by beating the drum or hollow tree trunks, giving indications through smoke or fire, or with the help of fast runners. Horses, camels, dogs, birds and other animals were also used to send messages. Initially, the means of communication were also the means of transportation. Invention of post office, telegraph, printing press, telephone, satellite, etc. has made the communication much faster and easier. Development in the field of science and technology has significantly contributed in bringing about revolution in the field of communication. People use different modes of communication to convey the messages on the basis of scale and quality. The mode of communication can be divided into following categories: personal and mass. Personal means letters, telephone, telegram, fax, email, internet. Mass communication: radio, television, cinema, satellite, newspaper, magazine, books, public meetings, seminar and conferences, etc. Personal communication systems. Among all the personal communication systems, internet is the most effective and advanced one. It is widely used in urban areas. It enables users to establish direct contact with through email to get access to the world of knowledge and information. It is increasingly used for e-commerce and carrying out money transactions. The internet is like a huge central warehouse of data with detailed information on various items. The network through internet and email provides an efficient access to information at a comparatively low cost. It enables us with the basic facilities of direct communication. Now, mass communication system, that is radio. Radio broadcasting started in India in 1923 by the Radio Club of Bombay. Since then, it gained immense popularity and changed the socio-cultural life of people. Within no time, it made a place in every household of the country. Government took this opportunity and brought this popular mode of communication under its control in 1930 under the Indian Broadcasting System. It was changed to All India Radio in 1936 and to Akashvani in 1957. तो एस्टेब्लिश कब हुआ देखो, रेडियो क्लब ऑफ बॉम्बे ने एस्टेब्लिश किया 1923 में। देन 1930 में जाकर इसका नाम चेंज करके रखा गया इंडिया ब्रॉडकास्टिंग सिस्टम। देन फिर 1936 में इसका नाम हो गया ऑल इंडिया रेडियो एंड 1957 में इसका आकाशवाणी नाम दिया गया। ऑल इंडिया रेडियो ब्रॉडकास्ट से वैरायटी ऑफ प्रोग्राम्स रिलेटेड टू इन्फॉर्मेशन, एजुकेशन एंड एंटरटेनमेंट. Special news bulletins are also broadcast at specific occasions like session of parliament and state legislatures. Television, TV. Television broadcasting has emerged as the most effective audiovisual medium for disseminating information and educating masses. Initially, the TV services were limited only to the national capital, where it began in 1959. After 1972, several other centers became operational. In 1976, TV was delinked from All India Radio and got a separate identity as Doordarshan. After insert IA, National Television DD1 became operational. Common national program CNP was started for the entire network, and its services were extended to the backward and remote rural areas. Satellite communication. Satellites are mode of communication in themselves, as well as they regulate the use of other means of communication. However, use of satellite in getting a continuous and synoptic view of larger area has made satellite communication very vital for the country due to the economic and strategic reasons. Satellite images can be used for the weather forecast, monitoring of natural calamities, surveillance of border areas, etc. On the basis of configuration and purposes, satellite system in India can be grouped into two: Indian National Satellite System (INSAT) and Indian Remote Sensing Satellite System (IRS). On the basis of configuration and purposes, satellite system in India can be grouped into two: Indian National Satellite System and Indian Remote Sensing Satellite System. The INSAT, which was established in 1983, is a multi-purpose satellite. तो INSAT जो है यानी इंडियन नेशनल सैटेलाइट सिस्टम जो है, ये एक मल्टीपर्पज सैटेलाइट सिस्टम है फॉर टेलीकम्युनिकेशन, मेट्रोलॉजिकल ऑब्जर्वेशन एंड फॉर वेरियस अदर डेटा एंड प्रोग्राम्स. The IRS satellite system became operational with the launching of IRS-IA in March 1988 from Baikonur in Russia. ठीक है, तो ये देखो इंडियन रिमोट सेंसिंग सैटेलाइट जो है रशिया से लॉन्च किया गया था पहले 1988 में, और उसके आगे लॉन्च किया गया था इंडियन नेशनल सैटेलाइट सिस्टम जो कि 1983 में. ओके, नाउ India has also developed her own launching vehicle PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. This satellite collects data in several spectral bands and transmit them to the ground stations for various uses. The National Remote Sensing Center NRSC at Hyderabad provides facilities for acquisition of data and its processing. National Remote Sensing Center NRSC, ठीक है, नेशनल रिमोट सेंसिंग सेंटर NRSC एट हैदराबाद प्रोवाइड्स फैसिलिटीज फॉर एक्विजिशन ऑफ डेटा एंड इट्स प्रोसेसिंग. दीज आर वेरी यूजफुल इन द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज. तो इस वीडियो को हम यहीं पे स्टॉप करेंगे और आज के लिए इतना ही. आगे के जो चैप्टर्स रहेगा वो हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में कंप्लीट कर देंगे. आई थिंक और कुछ ही पेजेस बाकी है, जैसे कि देखो 109 पेज तक हमने चले आए और 20 पेजेस आपका है, तो एक वीडियो में हो जाएगा. ठीक है, थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स.